I'm Juliet Powell, and welcome to another great and exclusive Paltalk event. The show will begin shortly, but there are a few things to go over before we start. Now, if you have any questions for our guest, and I know you will, all you have to do is raise your hand like you usually do, and to do that, all you have to do is click on that little hand icon in the lower right portion of the Paltalk screen. And we'll get to as many questions as possible during the show, but of course, due to the popularity of the event, please do understand that I won't be able to get to all of you, but I promise that I'll try, okay? The room that you're in is live and designated as a G-rated room. Now, that just means that while asking questions or writing comments, the use of profanities or other harsh and offensive language won't be permitted. Finally, invite your friends to the room. I want to talk to them, have them join in with questions, or just sit back and veg out. Most importantly, have fun and enjoy the show.
To you live from the Paltalk studios. My name is Juliet Powell, and this is Music Scene. We've got a very special guest today. In fact, they are so hot that if after this interview you don't go out and buy their albums, we're going to have to wonder what the heck's going on. Everybody's going to be chatting about you, and hopefully those of you at home that are on the chat lines, you're going to be letting us know the questions that you have for our upcoming guests. Their name is One Bloc Radius. Remember this, One Bloc Radius, because their self-titled album is coming out on the 16th of September, and you might just be one of the first to hear them. They're live in the studio, and they're going to be giving us a little love and a little bit of a preview of the album. Welcome.
Paltalk world, we feel like we're in the future right now.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
How's everybody doing out there?
Well, as you can see, they're already chatting away, responding to your questions, but I have the honor of asking the first question, which is really, really simple, because there are so many bands out there that work their butts off, trying to get it done. They've got the right crew, they've got the right music going on, but for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. When you first started recording your first two albums, you actually got your music to radio. You didn't even have a manager, let alone a record company.
We still don't, actually.
So how does that work? How much of the business do you actually need to know to be able to get to a place where people pay notice to you?
I think it's important. I think that you really have to make sure you know what you're doing before you jump in. I used to be, we had a group on Grand Royal Records, the Beastie Boys label, and, you know, at that point I was just more artist-focused, you know, kind of just follow the label's lead and not really have a real clear vision for stuff. And then as we kind of, you know, figure out the business a little more, you're able to take the right approach to it, and you can, you know, make more stuff happen on your own. But, you know, we've been independent from the jump. We put out our first indie record in 2005, put out another indie record in 2006, and even our single that's out now, we put it out on our own. And then some radio stations started to play it, like on the West Coast, and then we had labels kind of come after us. So we've kind of wanted to always have that independent spirit to our music, and even still today, we try to come up with a lot of our own. You know, we try to lead the way for the label, be very proactive. You know what I mean, and try to come up with a lot of ideas for the label to kind of see our vision. You know what I mean?
And that's really good to know, because again, once you get caught up in the machine, and we've all heard about the music industry and how tough it is, and how, you know, a lot of bands are actually stepping away from it, trying to go at it on their own. You've decided after 4 or 5 years of being together to actually jump in and go for it. What were some of the factors to make that decision? Because I'm guessing you still want to keep your street cred, but you want to blow up.
You know, it's you know, you want to get your music heard by as many people as possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing. As an independent act, you know, with a limited budgets behind you, with no money. I mean, we were funding it all ourselves. You know, we had our own van. We'd go do our own shows and set up our own shows, and you know, we needed a team behind us, somebody who can help us get our music out on a bigger scale. You know, so for us, whatever, if it's a major, if it's a big indie, whatever it was, we just want to get our music heard. You know, we feel like our sound is very diverse and appeals to a lot of different people. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing here on Paltalk, trying to Oh, who's this?
Jen from Washington.
Well,
Hey,
Jen
what's
from
up, Jen
Washington
from Washington?
is not the only person who wants to talk to you, but Jen got it first. She's like, I want to talk to these guys. Hi, Jen.
Wow, look at Jen up there.
Jen, what is you doing?
Out in outer space.
Got the headpiece on. Yeah, do a show.
What you doing out there, Jen? She's fixing her hair. She's looking good. Feeling good.
You know she took some time to be able to.
She has that 1-800 dentist. That 1-800 dentist.
So we're not hearing you, Jen. We're going to try to adjust the sound on our end. You try to adjust the sound on your end.
Sorry,
and
Jen.
hopefully we're going to hear
Still
from you
love
in
you,
just
though.
a few minutes.
Yeah.
There was a gorgeous woman in Argentina while you guys were coming into the environment who was in the chat room, but she wasn't typing on the screen. She was dancing. She was getting down. She was really lovely.
Making the ladies dance.
Dance.
That's what
There's
we
lead of
got.
Argentinian ladies.
Argentinians.
All those Argentines.
All those Argentinians.
Argentinians.
Well, it's funny because we also got some text questions too for you.
Uh-oh.
We've got Holly from Cleveland. So many ladies out there. They're like, oh, the boys, we like them.
Well,
I
we like
dig
the
your
ladies,
rhymes.
so, you know.
Well, you're going to be even more popular, I think, after this. Who are some of your influences? And then she hazards a guess, so you can now say whether this works for you or not. Mosta. De La Soul.
De La.
Anybody else?
Definitely. Sublime. Far Side.
Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates, definitely. The Police.
Sting. Tribe Called Quest.
Carrot Top. Paula Poundstone.
Gallagher.
You know,
Gallagher too. Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group. But yeah, a lot of the first ones we said. You know, a lot of 80s melodies with the, you know, some of the boom bap from the 90s hip hop. Public Enemy, Cypress Hill's major influence on my production. I feel like I try to keep it gritty, like, you know, like DJ Muggs and the Bomb Squad. Those are the people I look up to. Premier's, DJ Premier's big, big influence. I try to kind of, you know, take some of what he's doing. And I mean, truthfully, Steely Dan from the 70s, we got influences from all different eras, but we try to put our own little twist on it. You know what I mean? Give you one of these right here.
So you sampling across the board at all?
It's sampled. I mean, there's samples. A lot of the drum breaks, especially, are
Yeah.
sampled and chopped up. But it's a lot of. It's also a lot of live instruments. There's guitar on most songs and some live bass. A lot of synths. I play a lot of synths on a lot of the records. So, you know.
It sounds like you guys are doing just about everything yourselves. So what exactly was the process in the recording studio? Because this time around you did it in a month. Now, for those of you who don't know the recording process, that might happen, you know, when you're recording with your friends, usually, but not when you're on a major label.
No, see, that's all part of us putting the single out independently. You get a little more trust with them because they see that you kind of did a lot on your own. You have a backstory, you know. They'll kind of give you a little more leeway. They were basically like, the album's going to come out. Initially, it was September 2nd, and can you make